welcome back to Swisher Family Farm. It's Amy. And today I'm going to be planting some peppers, as you know from past videos. Justin loves him some hot peppers. So we do have a couple of varieties of hot peppers. We're also going to be planting some basil and a few varieties of some sweet peppers, including a couple of different varieties of bell peppers. We haven't had much luck with bell peppers in the past, but this year we're actually going to start them from seed instead of from plant. So hopefully we'll have a better harvest with starting them from seed ourselves instead of buying them already started from the big box store. That's going to be one of our things this year. We're not going to buy any plants that have already been started. Everything is going to be started from seed at some point during our season. So in this one, these seed trays will hold 40 seed starters. There's 40 different cells. So we're going to do 10 of one kind of hot pepper. We're going to do 10 of Italian pepperoncini and 5 jalapenos, the grand jalapenos. So they grow to be very big. They're good for stuffing. And then we're going to do 15 rows of basil, because the basil, we have an outside bed where we're going to put a lot of herbs. So the basil is going to go some out there, but some also interspersed with our tomato plants. So I wanted to make sure that we get plenty of those planted. So I've showed this tool before. It does have handy little markings on it. All of these that I'm going to plant right now go to 1/4 of an inch. So I can just go through the whole tray and poke a little hole at 1/4 of an inch. The markings on here don't go all the way down to 1/4 of an inch. So Justin added a little mark in there for me with the marker. And it seems to be staying so far. So hopefully it'll stay through the season. But I'm just going to go through and poke all the holes first. And then I'll start putting the seeds in. This soil is dry initially, and I will moisten it. I will moisten it after I plant the seeds. So everywhere that I have a little tag is where we're going to start a new row of seeds. And there's 5 in each row. I don't like to just rip off the top, because if there are seeds left over, I like to be able to fold it back down to keep the seeds that are still in there protected. So one of the things I always like to do is put 2 seeds in each hole, just to make sure that something's going to come up. Now we're going to do the Italian pepperoncini. I'm assuming they mean pepperoncinis. Pepperoncinis. So I've got them done. I've got them planted anyway. So now I'm gonna pump up my sprayer. This is just water, so I'm just gonna mist over the top of it to get them moist, and then I'll set it up on the shelf so that they can warm up in the sun. If it's still cold in your area, one of the things you might want to do with these kinds of plants, with peppers and with some herbs, is put a heat mat under it. It gets warm enough in here during the day that when the door is closed, it will stay nice and warm in here for several hours at night. So if it gets cold for just a few hours, I don't have to put a heat mat in here. It'll be fine in here for the morning. There have been days that I've come in here when it didn't get down too cold at night, like in the 40s, which is still pretty chilly. But it was nice and sunny during the day, and I'll come in here in the morning and it is still warm from the day before. So not warm where it's sweating, but it's probably a good 60 degrees in here. So one of the things we are going to add is a thermometer so we can keep track of that and know how warm it is in the morning and things like that. So now that I've got my mister ready, I'm going to go ahead and get these wet. So this is just getting the surface wet. The water will drip down through the seed cell, which is what I want. And you can see there's already moisture built up on the top of the lid. And that's just from it sitting in here for a few hours today. It should have no problem kind of generating its own moisture. I'll check them every day and make sure that the soil still feels moist. And if not, then I'll spritz it down with my sprayer. And if it does, great, I'll just leave it. But I had made one, or put one together a few days ago and left it in here that didn't have anything in it. And I didn't wet the soil at all. And today when I came in, it's probably been 4 or 5 days. Today when I came in, the soil was moist. I had not put any water in it whatsoever. It had just created its own condensation from the heat of the greenhouse. So that was exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the other seed tray down and get the other seeds ready to go. And then I'll be done planting peppers and basil today. In the other tray, we did some hot peppers and some basil. In this tray, we're going to do sweet peppers. We do have one row of tomatoes that we're going to do. This somehow, when we grabbed some seeds from the store, this particular tomato, it's a beefsteak tomato, which we do like. But we also got the ox heart tomatoes, which you'll see on another video. But we did those. When we grabbed some extra seeds, these beefsteak tomatoes got stuck in there. So we're only going to do a few of those. So we'll do one row of 5. And then we're also going to do some sweet basil in this tray. And then we've got some sweet peppers, bell peppers and sweet banana peppers. Alright, so we got our hot peppers done. So now I'm going to get started on the sweet peppers. The sweet peppers we are going to put in a different bed because the sweet peppers should not be planted with the hot peppers in case of cross-pollination. So we're going to make sure that we plant those separately. But all of these, it looks like, all go to a 1/4 inch depth, which is nice because then I can just do one. Yep, everything goes to a 1/4 inch depth. So I'll go through with my little tool and make the holes, and then I'll put the seeds in all at once. So for each of the sweet peppers, we're just doing 5 of each. So I'll put, be using 10 seeds. when I'm doing just a small number of seeds and I need to make sure I put 2 of them in there, especially with small seeds like peppers and tomatoes, I found that it's easier for me to put it on the counter or table or whatever it is that I'm working on and pick them up 2 at a time to put them in there. A lot of people use tweezers in their when they're doing their plantings in their garden, which is fine. I mean, that's, you know, it would probably be very helpful, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do, but I just don't have a pair of tweezers out here. I'm sure I could find an extra pair of tweezers, I just haven't brought them out here. And it's also amazing to me that the beefsteak tomato seeds are so small and yet they produce such huge tomatoes. Like I said, the basil is going to go all around the peppers, all around the tomatoes. We have found that when we plant basil, first of all, it is a good companion plant. Some of the insects that like tomatoes don't like the smell of basil, so it's a good companion plant to help keep the pests away. The other thing is, it's like the tomato takes on the flavor of the basil, which when you're making sauce, like with the San Marzanos, you want that to happen. So now I'm going to get these wet, and then my peppers and basil will be ready to stick up on the shelf and wait for them to germinate. I anticipate that they will germinate within the next week and a half is when they should be germinating. Alright, and like I said, I love these labels that I found. They are a kind of a plastic type material, maybe nylon, hard nylon. But I wrote on it with a permanent marker and it hasn't smeared. It got wet just now and didn't smear at all, had no impact whatsoever on the writing that I did, which is good. My handwriting isn't the best. I don't do a lot of writing. I do a lot of typing for work, but not writing. And so my handwriting's not the best just because I don't practice very much. I mean, my mom was a secretary for many, many years. And she has beautiful penmanship, just beautiful. I could never have penmanship like that. So now we have planted our peppers and some basil, quite a few plants of basil to intersperse throughout the garden. Once again, this is Amy from Swisher Family Farm. Thank you so much for stopping by and visiting me in my greenhouse. And today we did our pepper plants along with some basil, both sweet and hot peppers, and we'll see how they do. Please be sure on your way out to hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it with your friends if you think it'll help somebody out, and that's really what we're all here to do. It's a learning community. And you know, there's a lot of people out there homesteading, a lot of people out there gardening, a lot of people in their greenhouses. So if you do stop and watch my videos or our videos, we really appreciate it. Just ask that you subscribe and like the video. Thanks so much for stopping by. You guys have a great day.